How we build our homes and what crops we grow has usually been determined by climate. It's a fundamental part of our lives, but the climate system is one of the most complex topics to understand because Earth relies on many interconnected pieces working together to function. So, throughout this 10-part series, we'll summarize the most important factors affecting climate change, from the initial drivers to the processes that amplify or reduce these initial influences, and what can potentially cause the Earth to move from a relatively stable to unstable state. The climate system starts with solar radiation. As energy from the sun reaches our planet, the tropic regions receive more sunlight because their location is in direct line with the sun's position. This creates an uneven heat distribution between warm tropic regions that receive more sunlight and cold polar regions that receive less sunlight. The amount of heat the Earth receives depends on its position relative to the sun. Like the orbit shape as the Earth travels around the sun, the angle the Earth's axis is tilted, and the Earth's wobble cycle. The orbit shape can either be a nearly circular or elliptical shape. When the orbit is a nearly circular shape, the sunlight amount is pretty much the same year-round. But within a 100,000-year period, the orbit gradually shifts to a more elliptical shape that causes the Earth to travel further from the sun at one point and closer to the sun at another point. This creates a 23% difference in solar radiation between the closest point to the sun each year compared to the farthest point. As the Earth travels around the sun, it does so in a slightly tilted position. The tilted axis means that throughout the year, either the north or south hemisphere gets the sun's direct rays at a given time. And as a result, it determines the seasons for each hemisphere. But the tilt angle varies between 22.1 and 24.5 degrees within a 41,000-year period. And it is these changes in tilt that influence how extreme the seasons will be. It can either make the seasons milder or more extreme. Along with the orbit and tilt cycles, the Earth also has a wobble cycle that takes 26,000 years to complete. This cycle gradually changes the timing of the seasons and can make the seasonal contrasts more extreme in one hemisphere and less extreme in the other. All of these cycles operate separately, creating small gradual changes. But together, the small changes can compound to influence the Earth's climate over very long timescales. On shorter timescales, the intensity of the sun's energy is influenced by the amount of sunspots that fluctuate within an 11-year solar cycle. Our planet receives more solar radiation as the sunspots increase, and less radiation as the sunspots decrease. But these changes only account for a 0.1% change. So together, the orbit cycles and solar cycles influence the amount of solar radiation. Then, the climate system has a series of processes to even out solar heating imbalances. It redistributes heat from the equator towards the poles, and it also balances the incoming solar radiation by emitting heat from the Earth's surface to outer space. How much heat is either retained or released depends on the amount and type of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. In the next video, we'll talk about greenhouse gases, what they are, where they come from, and how they work.